Have you ever wondered what separates those who achieve great things from the rest of us? Do they possess something special, or are they just ordinary individuals who have undergone a profound transformation? In this video, we'll unravel the process by which the so-called chosen ones are forged. They face 8 spiritual trials, challenges that test their souls, minds, and hearts. Each stage, from the confrontation of inner truth to the awakening of consciousness, reveals true human potential and transforms it irreversibly. Get ready to explore these trials and discover how they can change the way you see yourself and the world. Let's get started. The first trial, confronting the truth within. The journey of the chosen ones begins with a challenge that few can withstand, confronting the truth within. This is a moment of deep introspection, where the mask we wear to present ourselves to the world is removed, revealing the naked essence of who we really are. For many, this process can be facilitated by practices such as guided meditation, which helps silence the mind and access repressed emotions, or reflective writing, where thoughts are externalized and analyzed with brutal honesty. However, facing the inner truth is also challenging due to natural psychological resistance. Denial, rationalization, or even constant distractions are ways in which we avoid confronting our deepest self. Most people live in a bubble of illusions, defining themselves by their possessions, relationships, and social status. However, the first test requires us to look at ourselves without filters, without the distractions of the outside world. This process is terrifying because it forces us to face the abyss of our own existence. Who are we when we are not defined by achievements or the opinion of others? This dilemma is a common theme in the hero's journey, a narrative archetype where the identity crisis often marks the beginning of a profound transformation. For many, this question is so uncomfortable that they prefer to retreat, taking refuge in the illusions they have built up. But the chosen ones don't have that option. They stand firm in front of the mirror, willing to face the truth, however painful it may be. This radical honesty is not only the first step towards transformation, it is also an act of courage that opens the door to a more authentic and meaningful life. Facing our inner truth is what allows us to start rebuilding our identity based on who we really are. The second test, loneliness as an ally. After the first test, the chosen ones face loneliness. In a world full of distractions and constant noise, true solitude is not just the absence of company, but the ability to be at peace with oneself. This challenge requires us to turn away from the external noise and delve into our inner selves. Many great thinkers and spiritual figures have found clarity in solitude. Buddha attained enlightenment after meditating in isolation under the Bodhi fig tree. Jesus spent 40 days in the desert, facing temptation and finding purpose. Thoreau, in his book Walden, details how connecting with nature and deep introspection can transform the mind and soul. Solitude, however, is often misunderstood. It is not synonymous with alienation, but rather an opportunity to disconnect from external influences and connect with our essence. Studies show that periods of intentional solitude can increase creativity, strengthen emotional resilience, and help process trauma. However, it is important to distinguish productive solitude from destructive isolation. While the former allows for growth, the latter can lead to despair if it is imposed or misunderstood. The chosen ones understand that solitude is not a state of despair, but an opportunity for self-discovery. When we immerse ourselves in silence, we begin to hear our inner voice, the one that has been drowned out by social expectations and pressures. It is in this space of stillness that profound revelations occur. In this moment of introspection, solitude becomes a powerful ally, allowing the chosen ones to understand their fears and strengthen their convictions. Thus, conscious isolation is not only a test of emotional strength, but also an indispensable tool for connecting with our most authentic essence and for building a life rooted in purpose and meaning. The third test, the necessary detachment. The third test is one of the most challenging: detachment. We live in a society that values possession and control, but for the chosen ones, true freedom comes from letting go of the ties that bind us. This test requires us to let go not only of physical objects, but also of resentments, expectations, and emotional attachments. Minimalism is a practical example of detachment, encouraging the release of material possessions that no longer serve a meaningful purpose. However, detachment goes beyond tangible goods. It also involves ending toxic cycles, whether in relationships, thought patterns, or destructive behaviors. The concept of detachment is widely explored in Buddhism, which teaches how to cultivate a peaceful mind by letting go of desires and attachments that cause suffering. Similarly, Stoic philosophy emphasizes internal control, arguing that we should not depend on external factors for our peace. For example, Epictetus advised focusing only on what is within our control and accepting with serenity what we cannot change. But healthy detachment doesn't mean emotional indifference. It's about maintaining meaningful connections without letting them define or limit us. Overcoming this test requires inner strength and trust in the flow of life. The chosen ones learn to believe that what is meant for them will find the right path, while what no longer serves must be released. This ongoing process can be painful, as life often presents us with situations that test our ability to let go, such as the end of an important relationship or the abandonment of a dream that no longer makes sense. However, those who manage to pass this test discover that true freedom lies in the ability to live without the need to control every outcome. Detachment is an act of courage, which allows the chosen ones to sail through life with lightness and confidence, ready to embrace new opportunities and grow from each experience. The fourth test, the dark night of the soul. The fourth trial, known as the dark night of the soul, is one of the most feared challenges on the chosen one's journey. This concept, widely recognized in different spiritual traditions, symbolizes a period of intense inner turmoil in which everything we believed we knew is put to the test. In Christianity, it is often compared to crossing the desert, while in yoga, it is equivalent to dark samadhi, where consciousness plunges into a state of emptiness before spiritual rebirth. During this phase, the chosen ones face significant losses. Relationships can fall apart, life purposes can seem pointless, and a sense of disorientation takes over. However, this experience is not a punishment, but a necessary purification. It's like the renewal process of a phoenix, where the old self needs to be burned away so that the new can emerge. Practical tools can help get through this phase, such as seeking emotional support from friends or mentors, or finding comfort in spiritual practices such as meditation and prayer. These resources offer anchorage in the midst of turbulence. This period also brings opportunities for rebirth. When the old self collapses, space is created for a new, stronger and more enlightened version of oneself to emerge. Many who go through the dark night report a profound clarity and a renewed connection with life, as if they had gone through a dark tunnel to find the most radiant light on the other side. The dark night of the soul is a test of resilience and faith. The chosen ones learn to trust that, even in the darkest hours, there is a light waiting to be discovered. This test reinforces the ability to overcome adversity and find meaning in the most difficult moments, transforming pain into a source of growth and wisdom. The dark night is not the end of the journey, but a portal to a new beginning, where the inner light finally bursts forth in all its brilliance. The fifth test, the power of faith. Faith is the fifth test that the chosen ones must face. This faith goes beyond religious dogma. being a conscious trust in the flow of life and in one's own potential to overcome. During the dark night of the soul, faith is tested repeatedly. It is at this time that the chosen ones must believe that, even when everything seems to be falling apart, there is a greater purpose at work. This faith is not blind. It is a recognition that difficulties carry important lessons, and that each experience, however painful it may seem, contributes to growth. Cultures throughout history see faith as a pillar for getting through crises. In ancient Egypt, the belief in universal harmony, represented by the goddess Maat, guided human actions, while in Roman Stoic philosophy, there was a trust in logos, or universal reason. In the modern world, practices such as prayer, meditation with mantras, and even gratitude exercises are powerful tools for cultivating this trust. For example, repeating affirmations such as, "I trust in the process of life," can help maintain emotional stability in times of uncertainty. The difference between conscious faith and blind belief is essential. While blind belief depends on a dogma or external source, conscious faith is an active act of surrender, supported by choices and actions aligned with the greater purpose. Practicing faith is like casting an anchor in troubled waters. It doesn't stop the storm, but it offers stability to get through it. For the chosen ones, faith becomes a driving force that pushes them to persist, to believe that the light will return even when everything around looks bleak. This trial teaches that trust in life is not a guarantee of ease, but a promise that, in the end, there will be learning and renewal. The sixth test: surrender to the flow of life. The sixth test is surrendering to the flow of life, a challenge that requires letting go of control and accepting circumstances with grace and courage. Many people confuse surrender with passive resignation, but there is a crucial difference. While resignation abdicates all action, productive surrender accepts what is and acts in harmony with the universe. This concept is widely explored in Taoism, with the principle of Wu Wei, effortless action, which advocates fluidity and alignment with the natural rhythms of life. The chosen ones understand that true strength lies in accepting what cannot be changed, while remaining open to the opportunities that life presents. It's like a river that flows around obstacles instead of fighting against them. This surrender requires letting go not only of plans that haven't worked out, but also of the identity we've built up based on external expectations. Often this means giving up rigid control over results and trusting that the universe has a unique path for each of us. Stories of inspirational figures illustrate the power of surrender. Steve Jobs, for example, was fired from the company he founded, but accepted this loss as an opportunity to rediscover his passion, leading to the rebirth of his career and Apple itself. Surrender in these cases was not an act of giving up, but a recognition that life is bigger than our immediate plans. For the chosen ones, this test is a daily practice of trusting in the unknown. Practices such as meditation and mindfulness help cultivate this state, teaching us that total control is an illusion. Surrender is actually an alignment with a greater intelligence, allowing life to flow more naturally and authentically. This test teaches that accepting the flow of life doesn't mean giving up, but trusting that the universe knows best and acting accordingly when the opportunity presents itself. The seventh test, the awakening of consciousness. The seventh test is the awakening of consciousness, a moment of clarity that redefines the way the chosen ones see themselves and the world around them. This awakening can vary from person to person. For some, it comes as a moment of epiphany, a sudden revelation that completely transforms their perception. For others, it's a gradual process, cultivated over time through reflection, overcoming challenges, and intentional practices. Practices such as meditation, conscious breathing, and philosophical study have proven to be effective tools for promoting this state of expanded awareness. For example, mindfulness techniques help bring focus to the present, while holotropic breathing can unlock deep insights into the nature of being. In addition, reading philosophical or spiritual texts, such as the works of Eckhart Tolle or Alan Watts, can open up ways of understanding the connection between individuality and the whole. Awakening not only changes the individual's relationship with their own existence, but also with the world. The chosen ones begin to see the interconnectedness of all things, which awakens a deep sense of empathy, purpose, and service. The search for control and external validation gives way to a serene acceptance of life as it is, with its uncertainties and surprises. This state of consciousness brings more authenticity to choices and a new lightness to the way we live. For the chosen ones, awakening is not the final destination, but the beginning of a new way of life. It's an opportunity to live with more meaning, aligning actions and values with a broader vision of existence. This gift not only transforms the way they experience life, but also inspires them to share this light with others, creating a positive impact around them. The last test: integrating what you have become. The eighth and final test is the integration of experience, the point at which the chosen ones connect the lessons learned to everyday life. Unlike the previous tests, integration doesn't happen all at once. It's a continuous process that requires patience, repetition, and often a return to previous stages to deepen the learning. This phase represents the maturing of the transformation. During integration, those chosen begin to apply what they have experienced in concrete actions. Many find ways to share their journeys, whether by writing books, creating art, teaching, or leading projects that reflect their newfound values. Historical examples include spiritual leaders and visionaries who turned their trials into tools to inspire others, such as Viktor Frankl, who turned his experience in concentration camps into the classic In Search of Meaning. In addition, this phase connects the chosen ones to altruistic service. Personal transformation awakens the desire to help others overcome their own difficulties. Whether through simple acts or grandiose initiatives, the chosen ones understand that their journeys have a greater purpose: to serve as beacons for those who are still lost in their own trials. Integration also teaches that the challenges faced were not in vain. Each obstacle overcome becomes a resource for facing new challenges with greater confidence and wisdom. This final phase is an invitation to live authentically, aligning actions with purpose in order to transform not only one's own life, but also the society around them. The chosen ones learn that the journey never really ends. Instead, it continually expands, opening up new possibilities for growth, contribution, and connection. This final test symbolizes rebirth, an invitation to live life with gratitude, love, and a renewed sense of belonging to the whole. It is the closing of a cycle and the beginning of a new one. We have reached the end of this journey through the 8 spiritual tests that shape the chosen ones. Each of these stages, from inner truth to detachment, from loneliness to awakening, offers lessons that lead to transformation and personal growth. What makes these trials special is that they are not reserved for the few. They are available to everyone who has the courage to face them and open up to change. Are you ready to face this process and become the best version of yourself? If this video has touched you in any way, please like it, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for following us so far. See you in the next video to continue exploring human potential. See you soon.